Okay. All right, welcome everyone. I'm going to talk about the SME mobile products. We've been doing lots of work recently in the mobile arena, and we're going to go through that. First of all, I'll go through a quick presentation just to kind of set the framework for that. And as a lot of you know and been with us for a long time, we've had solutions all the way through the generations from DOS, Windows, mobile, and cloud. Been around for a while, solely focused on service management. So our new mission and our tagline as well is help companies run a better service business. So that's really what we're focused on, and coming out with solutions to make you more efficient. So a better service business is more synchronized with the office and the field. The field operations is where the work is happening. So making that more efficient and synchronized is what it's all about. And this mobile solution will greatly improve that area. And you can read the other items there as well. So High Five Software Solutions, as you know, most of you are already on SME. This meeting is for customers of SME already. And now with SME, and let me go ahead and mute everyone right now. So, so the SME is the main back-end application. And now with every installation, we're also installing web services. It's part of the whole SME application, so it's free of charge, no extra charge on that. And this web services is what enables all these mobile solutions and web-based solutions that we're coming out with. The SME Mobile consists of 4+1 applications right now. The SME Master is your administration page and where you manage all your users. The Tech is where we used to call this Tech Portal, is for your techs in the field, a real streamlined task-specific application for that. We also have a Barcode application for your warehouse people and a TimeSheet application for pretty much anyone in your company to do time entry and approval for payroll. And we've got a new application that is ready for customer feedback, which is a web-based dispatch for faster scheduling and scheduling of crews, which I'll show you as well. So just to kind of give you some idea of the benefits of SME Mobile, we've heard this from customers, these ones in quotes, is somebody mentioned that they were getting a 30% increase in billing for when they started using the SME Mobile solutions. Another customer was able to reassign 2 back office staff because all the techs were handling things directly and also using our automated email along with that, and just saving a lot of money for that. We also have capability. If your techs are more efficient, they're reducing trips to the office or phone calls. We're seeing people increase the number of billable hours they're able to achieve for that. And another customer was mentioning that the timesheet application, or what they do typically right now, is taking 1 hour every week for managing timesheet. And with our timesheet application, we believe that it get down to very small, even down to 1 hour for the whole month rather than 4. So if you look at the return on investment, it's pretty gigantic, depending on, and this is all just like seat of the pants numbers. It's going to be very variable for you. But if you can increase the billable hours, that's going to increase your revenue. Also going to decrease your cost if maybe less hours, less overtime, that kind of thing. And over here is our pricing on a per user per month, so you know where that's at. But just looking at the revenue versus cost and the pricing of our applications, you'll see huge returns on using these applications. So your next steps, we're going to do the demo, but keep in mind you'll need to update to SME 8. You'll set up all your mobile users on the m.highfivesoftware.com, and then we recommend to run a trial or a pilot with some key users get things worked out. There's lots of features within SME, and there's no way we can implement every single feature within the mobile. So we're only implementing the features, the core features, and then other features for unique business processes for customers on an as needed basis. So we really recommend that trial or pilot for your business. And then any issues you find, you'll let us know, and then we can set up your payment schedule and go live, and we'll get you to run a better service business. Okay, so let's jump into the first step. So let me go ahead and log off here. When you first start, the first thing you do is you come to this page. We call it SME Master. It's kind of your portal to all the other portal applications, mobile applications. So I'll go ahead and log in here. Yes. You'll notice that we will provide you a short description code for your company. So you'll have whatever, you'll set up user names, and then we'll provide you the part after the @ So for us, it's H5 we selected for a demo here. You'll probably have either your full name of your company or some abbreviated name of your company for that, and then your password. So I'm logging in as the admin. So the first thing I would do, I'll get into these applications in a second. The first thing you do is you go to the home page and you'll see this admin setup. So this is where you're going to set up your different users. So the first thing it does is read all your users in your SME and set up users allow you to set up your users. If there's any users that have not been activated, you'll see another section here and allow you to activate that user, and then it'll come into this section here. You're able to set the password of the users. Let me go ahead and set up a new user in SME real quick, and I'll show you what that's going to look like. All right, so I'll go ahead and set up a new user. We'll call it Ralph, and actually, I think I have a user in here that's not a tech. So let me look at active users, and we'll go to, I think, Cindy. All right, so we'll make Cindy a tech here and say save. Now when we go back to the application, I'll probably have to log off and back in. I want to make sure I show you guys the way you would see users. So go to the users page again. So it's reading the SME. So you notice the Cindy M now. I just added them as a tech. You need to add as a tech at this point so that they'll show up in here. At this point, I can put in the username. So typically you would put in Cindy M, for example, and save it, and it will add the @ symbol and your company name at the end, and allow that user to register. Once they're registered, the things you can do is change their username. So if I wanted to change Tony to Tony V and update, then now he'll be Tony V next time he logs in. I can also change the password for them. So by default, there's a default password that's given, and you go in and set the password for the users, and they can also come in and set their own password. Over here on the different applications, we've got the tech portal, the barcode, the time, and the dispatch. And you enable which applications you want for each user. Now keep in mind that everything is per user charge, so if you have all these checked, then that's how your charging would be handled as well. You can also set up which users are admin, and what that does for you is allow these admin users to both manage users, but also, more importantly, in the mobile, they'll be able to set up all the different options for that you want for your company. And let's say I'm going to go in as Mark S. I'm going to set up all my preferences, and then I'm going to propagate those to all the other users. So it allows you to set up your preferences once, and set that for all the users so those users don't need to see it. So let's go to the applications, and you'll just click on the application. It will open. I'm going to go to our beta version right here, and I'm going to show you the different preferences here. So this is, again, more on the setup side. So we'll go to the preferences. You have a number of different preferences. The first one is on the Details tab. You can show and hide or make any of these fields non-editable. So you can really streamline what you show to users and what you allow them to edit. You can also set up the ordering of how you want the stuff to show. So typically you would show the most important stuff at the top and less used important information at the bottom. So in this case I got zone, but I got it hidden. I don't use that for the text, so I don't need to show that. But maybe this reference number is way down here at number 4, not quite as important. So you'll see that in my sample here. On the tabs, these are the buttons on the bottom you'll see, and you can show or hide each one of those buttons. So if you want to take signatures, if you want the time clock for timing in and out, emailing or printing, and completing the order, you can all show or hide. On the items page, you have the option to show or hide cost to price, and you also have the capability on which items you're going to show for the text in the field, which are either show just from their warehouse items or show all items in your entire inventory list. The mine with options is to show mostly show their warehouse parts, but also give them options. So if they want to transfer parts from another tech in the field, they'll be able to do that, or grab parts from your main warehouse, that kind of thing. So the reason you would use this is if you want to limit what parts techs use, or we have some customers that have just thousands or 10,000 parts, and it's just a little bit too much to load, so this will limit what we'll load on there. On the UI side, we have 2 options for adding text to service requests and service perform. You can append text, which would be the hide, or you can have it fully editable, which would be show. So you can show, you can fully let the text edit, or only let them add and append. The good thing about the append is that it will time and date stamp and put the text name on there and add the information. But the bad thing is if they make a spelling mistake or something, once it goes in, they can't change it. So it goes in, one-time shot. Now I've got this mode set up in the demo. They can also set up for their for the quantities, the customer documents, whether you're going to show customer documents. Normally it will show all the stored documents for the order, but we also allow you to see the customer documents if you want as well on that order. And this option will set it up whether you want to email out of the admin email or whether you want to email out of the tech's own email. So some people don't want to allow using of the text email out to the customer, so you would send out through the admin email instead. And a couple admin options for showing equipment, tasks, or billable schedule. And so once I set those up, then I would set that up for Mark S. I logged in as Mark S. I would come back over here to the login screen, and since I set that up for Mark S, I would propagate my changes to all the other users, and then all those options would be standard across the company. Note that the people that have pluses here are the admins. They are able to change their own settings even after you propagate to everyone, so they'd be able to go in and customize for that. So this is the mobile master. Let me see if anyone's got any questions. Go ahead and chat them in the window there. So if you got any questions, just say I have a question, or you can put your question in there. This is the admin part. If no questions, I'll go to the next stage. So the next stage is the actual the mobile SME Mobile for text. So let me start over here in the profile. I showed you this already in terms of preferences. For the people that are not admins would not see this. The SME Master will allow you to jump back to the main user management and maybe jump to the other applications. I can also see my timesheet by putting in a date here, and it'll pop up my timesheet for that week. Now, let me explain clock in, time in, and timing in or adding tasks for an order. Clock in, clock out will only be for your clock in and clock out for the day. It is not related to an order, and that's why it's over in this profile section. So I've just clocked in. So all this does within SME, it's really simple, is it sets your log for your user. So let me go to my mark user here. So here's my mark user, and you can see I've just clocked in at 2:26 and 9:16 a.m. So that's the clock in for that. So this will allow you to track for your daily clock in and clock out for the day. So if you're tracking overall hours that are not totally related to jobs, you can use this clock in, clock out. So it's really simple for that. But like I said, it doesn't relate to a job itself. Okay, so that's the clock in, clock out. So here I have a list of all my different orders in the system, and I can click in these orders and start working on them. So as I mentioned, we can organize how we want this first screen to show up. I've got it set so the summary shows. You can also make the summary non-editable. I have my order number here. If there's a due date, it will show here. I have it set so that if you click on this, or everyone has this set up, it will automatically open up your Google documents. No, I don't want to meet the new Google. And you can use this to navigate directly to the site. You remember that this can run on any mobile device, whether it's a smartphone or tablet. So this can usually link right to their navigation screen and help you navigate directly to that location. Order status is really important because you can connect it to your outgoing email, automatic outgoing email. And each one of these order status can be set up to email different people. So let's say if the tech is in the field and he needs parts, maybe he needs a new PO or something, you can have that immediately email to the inventory person, and that person could go ahead and order parts or maybe call up the supplier while the tech's on the job and maybe arrange to get parts for that job. But you get to set all these different order status for yourself, for your company, and set up who you want to email in each one of these. So let's say I set up arrived on site. When I arrive on site, that can email the customer immediately, so that customer can meet you at the door and let you in or meet you. We also have the contacts. You can see all the different contacts at that site. And again, each one of these buttons here will automatically click to work with your cell phone. So I can click this and it would automatically open up my phone dialer, or I could click this and automatically open up my emailer. So using this within smartphones is really fantastic. So there's the different other options. Now let's go to the notes. When I go into service perform, remember I have the append option, so doing the webinar now. And note that we have the time, the normal spell checking that goes along. We have some formatting options and things like that. But I can append this this information, and you notice it puts my name and my notes there in the timestamp, so that you can track all the notes that the tech was providing. Now, this doesn't allow them to edit their notes. Once they're in, they're in. If you set that other option, it will let you edit everything and change everything. So just whatever works out best for you, for your company. On the notes, we can see all the site notes for that site. So access by calling guard, something like that. I can add those notes or see those notes there. Still right here. Okay, and that allows you to see the site notes, and you can also set like notes that are on this job but are more like private notes. So this would be private note, hello. So that would be a private note that would show up in SME. Documents are really powerful. This allows you to set up documents on the order itself, and then the tech can see all the documents. So we're having customers use this to put in like site plans for that site. So the tech can go grab the site plan, open it up, and just click on it and open up that site plan. In this case, I just got a logo here. This can be a PDF or any kind of document. Or I can upload documents as well. So I would browse through File and upload the document. So let's say, let's go to a picture. And by the way, this will work with your camera on your device. So when you click Browse, it will also open up different applications on your cell phone, like for example your camera app or your gallery or things like that. So here I uploaded that picture, and now that will be available in SME and also. So if I go to 977, let's go to that job. Keep in mind that this is all real-time connected to SME. So as the tech's making changes in the field, it's happening in real-time back in the SME. So we'll go to that job, and you'll see on the stored documents. And remember I said arrived on site, so that happened automatically. If I look at my work requested, you could see doing a webinar spelled wrong in real time there. And this is the document that I sent from the SME, or this SFI here. Was the one I just added there. So all real time back into SME. Okay, now let's get into items and equipment. So here is where you'll be able to see all the items that you're supposed to install for that job site. I can see I need a VMX router Extreme, but I decide that I also need another part. So actually, let me do this Fibercast. So add that part to the order. Notice that this search screen will work with a barcode device too. So you can go out and get a, let's say a Bluetooth or USB connected barcode device and click and add those items really rapidly. So if you're like in a business has a lot of small parts, like let's say plumbing, you can barcode, every little part that you use and get that onto the order. Once you add the part, or when you click it, you'll be able to see a description. Maybe I use the blue one here. I can set. I have the price book, SLA. I can set up the quantities if I'm using more than one of this as well. And I'll go ahead and save that part. So I can modify these and everything. So I quickly add your parts to here. I can also add in, let's see if I got some labor item. I can add service items, parts, labor, or actually tech time as well. So this is where I would be adding tech time. And I forgot to show you guys that I wanted to, I was supposed to time in at the beginning of the job. So I'm going to go ahead and set this that I'm going to do hourly work and start that job. So this is clocking away. So we'll see how long it takes me to finish up the rest of the demo. So remember, time in, time out is different than the clock in, clock out. Time in, time out is actually attached to the job, and it's setting up a new table that we have in SME, which is the actual time for the job. So a lot of customers have been asking for, we have scheduled time billable time, and now we have actual time that the techs can put in as well. And this will actually show up in the timesheet application I'm going to show in a bit. So here I've timed in. Now I want to add some maybe an additional task. Maybe I need another tech on the job. So maybe I'll add Abe Tech to help me on this job, and he needs to help. And I'll put him up to work on that for 2 hours, and go ahead and save that. So that's also adding to that job. So these are tasks. So these are like the same that you would have when you schedule techs for jobs, or you put them on the dispatch calendar. Okay, so that's rapidly adding any kind of items, whether it's parts, materials, labor time, or service items. Now, a really good feature also is to be able to see all the equipment at that customer site. So we can see all the different equipment at that customer site. And let's say I'm going to go over to that site. I'm going to work on this printer. So I can click this, and I can see all the details about that printer with serial number, manufacturer number. I can look at a complete repair history, and I probably don't have a lot of repair history on this. But I can see all the repair history, so you would know all the details about all the repairs ever made on that piece of equipment. Let me just try one more if there's any repair history. This is a demo. It's not too realistic here, but normally you'd be seeing all that information. So let me go ahead and select this first Panasonic printer here. And I'm going to say I'm going to repair it. So I'm going to tag that as a repair. And I can just put in changed toner. Changed toner. Okay. And that will tag what I'm actually doing for that repair. So next time I look on, you can see that it's tagged as blue here. So this is a piece of equipment that's actually being repaired for this specific order. Later on, you can do reports within SME and look at all the repairs, and maybe you'll find some specific equipment that's having more problems and things like that. So that's the equipment and full equipment history, and I can also add equipment. So this would be good for if you're on the job site, you can rapidly inventory everything at that customer site. So later on you can do repairing of that equipment. The final tab over here is the custom tab, and this is where you can customize this application to meet your needs. Here I got some examples of property information and another tab, repair. And I can put whatever information I want in here. Buildings 101, 3 stories, unit, yes, there's a pool, and so on. These are just examples where we can have different drop-downs, text fields, or anything like that. You will be able to put whatever information you want. In fact, you can use this as a complete inspection form if you wanted for that job. We've got 2 ways to do this. You can do normal custom fields, which means there's like 1 field per order. Or we can do like a details where you can put in multiple information, like I'll put in this custom where I can put in room number, 200, inspection date is now, and it's a smoke detector inspection, and it passed and was good. So this is allowing me to do multiple of these. So here, let's say this is fire inspection. I'm going from room to room, making sure they have a smoke detector and checking if it's working. So I can keep adding information in here and keep adding so that it'll check here. You can see the room number there. I'll add another one. I'll go to the next room, 201. Again, it's inspection date now, and it's now a fire extinguisher, and it passed. All good. Okay, so this will allow you to do that rapid adding of the detailed information. So this is when you have many different entries for one work order. you through these details. And I can also see for the order, or I can, if you give them an option, I can see the customer custom fields too. So maybe I have, in this case, demographics and hotel and property information that I can track on the customer information. So now I've kind of completed that job. So let me get a signature for the customer. So I'll get a new signature. What's beautiful on the tablet or smartphone is you can just have the customer sign right there with their finger on the smartphone or the touch screen of the device and take that signature. Now I can also email right to that customer or print out. Now I'll do a print with you, and I've got it set for no totals, so I'll go ahead and select the print. So that will pop up if I don't have a block-up popper. Yep, here it is. And this is my service order. So I've got all my service requested, my customer information there, and all the items I did. Notice this is without the totals. So we have this just showing without totals. We also have one other one that shows with the totals so the customer can see the pricing. Some customers want to show that, and other customers don't want the text or customers to see that, and they handle that through the back office. So like I mentioned, I can also email that out. So I put in the customer's email or whoever I want to email to and the body of the email. And we'll email that same information. So once I'm done with the job, I can click the complete button. And I have the different options for how I want to complete. I can close or I can directly invoice that option, that order, or I can void. Now you can hide any one of these depending on your business process. So maybe you just want to allow the text to close the order in the field, so we'll let them do the close. Other people want to do invoice and actually track that there was a payment made as well. So you can see that job is now out of my list, so it's not showing. And if I go back in SME and refresh, you'll see that it's a closed order. So remember, this all real time happening there. Okay. So let me just go in terms of creating a new order. What you would do is you would say what kind of order, a service or install order, and then just create new. You select which customer you want to do. So let's do the Spruce Ridge. And this will allow me to do a new order for them. And I'll say new order from webinar. This jumping directly to the order is available in beta. In the main one, it just creates the order and you have to click it again. So this created a new order. So go ahead and save that. And this is really good for the text in the field, like if you want to do an upsell order or something like that, or the customer wants some new service in the future, you can add that in there really easily. So that's the tech portal. Please be chatting your questions over the side, and I'll take questions in 1 second. One other thing to mention is that service orders are white and install orders are black here. So over here, no questions. Come on, the last webinar we had tons of questions. Come on, don't be shy. Any questions? Is anyone out there? Let me unmute everybody. I'll unmute and see if there's any questions. Unmute all. I've got everyone unmuted if there's any questions. Okay, Mark has a question. So Mark, go ahead and ask your question.
I was asking if you said that it's the two colors for service and install orders. Can a recurring order be a different color?
Currently, it would be a, instead of a different color, you can have the service. When you do a recurring order, you typically set up as a different class or a different service item, something like that. And you can have that show, we have an option where you can have that show in this front screen. So that's where you would have, we have an option so you can show the, let's say the class or the service item in here. And also, you can have it set so that if you have that in the order, and let's say recurring or something, you can filter on those as well. So anything I type in here that's part of that order, the order, main information of that order, I can have them filtered as well, but not quite a different color. That was a good question.
Terrell Johnson Van Vuren.
Yep, go ahead. What was your question again? All right, Gary's got a question. Go ahead, Gary.
Yeah, if you're doing a install, how are you going to track multiple days, multiple techs on the same ticket?
Yep, good question. So what it will do is it will show all the this order. If that tech has been involved in that order at all, had any tasks or has been assigned to that order or scheduled on that order, it would show in their list. And then they would be able to click it, and they would add their notes in the order, but it would show all the different schedules for that order, so all the techs that have been scheduled on that job. So another good part of that question, and something I kind of missed in the demo, is I can click this filter button, and I've got different ways to look at my orders. So I can look at my orders, or in your case, Gary, what I would probably do is my tasks I would click. And those tasks would show up, as opposed to orders, it would be all their scheduled work that they have to do, kind of like you would see in a calendar. So that would be tasks. Or you can let them see like unassigned jobs or open and close as part of this filter as well. So I would probably set up my tasks for the techs, and then they would see what they have to do next on that job. But everyone, multiple techs can all contribute to one order. So that would definitely work. Okay, any more questions? Okay, I'm going to mute everyone again, and I'm going to jump to the next application is the time tracker. So we got the timesheet application. So this is tracking all that time in and time out, but doing it in a way that will allow you to see the I forgot the timeout. So let me go back to my job here, and let me go to close jobs. And go to that one and timeout. Okay, so I'll go ahead and stop my timer. So I did a whopping 13 minutes on that. I'm a pretty efficient tech here. Okay, so now I'll go to the time tracker app, and we'll refresh this. Okay, so the time tracker app, the techs would log in, and they would be able to add time for their day on the different jobs, or they'll be able to see all the time that they've put in so far. So the whole idea of the time tracker is to replace paper timesheets and have a nice flow between putting in your timesheets on a daily or weekly basis, getting approval from your manager, and then seeing all the information that you need for doing payroll. So I'll start with the daily timesheet. So you notice this job 977 is the one that I just put in. I started at 9:25 and finished at 9:39. Let me go ahead and add some more time here. So let's go to let's say I worked on 911 here for Port of Seattle. And let's say I started at, let's say 11. So, and I did 2 hours. So I can put that in, and I could put in the type of work I did. It was a service call, and whether it's regular, overtime, or whatever. And I have a couple more options where I can say what I did, fixed some stuff. And I can also add in, like, let's say if I had some expense charges, so maybe I had $20 of parking expense that I'll put in, and then I'll go ahead and check that off. So this can add your time pretty quickly. And one other good thing that I'll mention, let me go to another job, 908 for example. I can put in either time in any two of these three. So let's say if I remember, I didn't remember when I started the job, but I remembered when I finished it, and I remember I did 1 hour. So you can kind of go backwards that way, and it'll calculate any which way you want. So it's really easy to do. So once I do all my time for throughout the week, I would go to my weekly timesheet, and what I can see here is all my new time entries. This is the one I did for the demo there. I just added this one manually, 2 hours. So I can go in and say, no, maybe that was actually two hours there, so I want to get my full hours of work. I'll also be able to see any time that I had already submitted or has been approved by my managers or been paid as well. So once I get that in there, I'll go ahead and submit all my time. It tells me I successfully did that. And all that time is now shown up here under submitted and not editable anymore because I've submitted that time. Then what would happen is my manager would come in, and he would come in and look at these times here for each one of the users. If I'm a manager, I'll be able to put in, I can put in time on behalf of my employees, or I can do a, or I can help them submit their time for them. Then I would go to the approval, and I would see all the time to approve. And again, I'd see all my different employees that I need to approve and look at the different for each week. And then I'll go ahead and approve all these times. So that was successful. It was all approved. And then finally, I would go in under payroll, and I would see all the time that's been submitted. And this will go, this is the time that's available for payroll. And what we're doing for customers is typically you would need unique payroll outputs that you're used to, whether you're using a payroll application or some people use Excel sheets, things like that. So we will work with you for building the kind of output you want for that. Also note that if you're syncing with QuickBooks, these times, once approved, you can have different settings if it's once submitted or approved or whatever, and those would automatically go into QuickBooks for manage your payroll through there as well. So a nice simple application for rapidly adding your time, and this can save quite a bit of time if your techs are doing manual time entry, going through a lot of approval and painful payroll process. Okay, so that's the time. Now let me show you how that looks. And remember, start putting your questions in the chat about the time, and I'll take those questions. Now, when I go into the time entry, I can see the time entry a couple different ways here. So here I am at Mark. When I click on this task within, we've got a new tab that's called Time Tracking. We have a new billing status set up so that you can set this up where you're using actual time that the tech put in, or you're using the scheduled time for billing. So this would be equivalent to that schedule equal billing. Or you can use where you just put in your normal bill time. Here's where the time tracking shows up. So this is where I put in that 0.23 hours. So this is the actual time that you're tracking on each task or scheduled item there. So all right, let's go there. Now I can also see this time when I go into the users. So if I look at the timesheet, I can see all the time over the course of the day. Here's that time, or here on the top. All the time that I put in for the tech over the course of this one's showing that it was submitted and approved and all the status. So there's really good tracking on this. So this can meet your DCAA compliance as well for time tracking, since it's all tracked and techs have to log in and things like that. So let's see what questions we got. Any questions? Let me go ahead and unmute anybody if you got any questions to ask. Okay. No questions on the time tracking. Okay, so that's a time tracker. Let's go to the next one. Going back to our applications, the next one is our barcode. Remember that you can do barcoding for the techs in the field where they can add their items quickly or add equipment onto the orders. This barcode is specifically for the warehouse staff for managing the flow of materials in your system. So the Barcode app has 3 modes. We have receive mode, pick mode, and transfer mode. So receive mode is for your actual receiving on purchase orders. So I can pick the location I'm going to receive to, and I'll go ahead and put in, I think I got order number 79, Dave's Dainty Dress. These are the parts that I need to receive. And you notice that here I've got 10 out of 10 for these parts, and I got 1 out of 1 for that part, the T400. So when I barcode this in, T400, I'll enter that in. And this is a serialized part, so it's going to give me the details down below. And it's looking, because it's a serialized part, I'm going to add the serial number there as well. So you notice down here it shows webinar 2. So that's the serial number that I just entered for this part. And you'll also notice that now I have 0 left to receive for this part. So that part's received. So with a barcode, you can really rapidly receive all your parts with barcode, both the serialized parts and the non-serialized parts there as well. The nice thing about this, you can use any computing device. You can use a laptop or PC. You can use a tablet, or you can use a smartphone. All of them will work. And you can also use any barcode device. In the past, we had the MT2000, and it was a slightly older device. That will still work with this, by the way. But now you can get just a Bluetooth barcode. I've seen them on eBay for like under $100, let's say, for a nice Bluetooth barcode, and handle that. Now looking at this part here, we can also set up to, if I click this use, I can, you notice this is 10 parts. Maybe I want to just barcode once. I can put in 10, and I can barcode this device. Let's see if I can do this. 23100EX, and click enter. And since that's a non-serialized part, it immediately entered those parts, so I can enter those quickly. And this is where you can enter if there's specific condition or status when you do that, or if you want a specific bin or shelf for the receiving. So let's go back home. So I'm done with that, that purchase order. You can also set up to barcode the purchase order itself. I forgot to mention that. Let's go to the next mode, is the pick mode. And the pick mode will allow you to pick parts for a job. So I can click that part. I can see all the jobs that need to be picked here. And I still need this BMX 23100EX. And I've picked that part. And I can also move that part immediately from one location to another. So you can pick that part and move it at the same time. So it's kind of a pick and move, so it's really useful. So what you would do is move this from your main warehouse to, let's say, your tech's truck, for example, and move those parts into that truck. So that's the pick mode. And the final one is just a transfer. This is where it's not related to an order. So I can transfer and move any parts from one warehouse to another warehouse, and select the 2 warehouse here. Let's say from Bob Fan to somewhere else, and transfer back and forth. So this will allow you to transfer. So since I'm running a little short on time, we've got a couple more applications. I'll go ahead and finish up. Is there any questions on the barcode? If not, I'll jump to the, okay, Gary, go ahead. Oh wait, I gotta unmute you, I guess. Let me unmute Gary. Okay, go ahead, Gary.
So if I'm doing barcoding and I open up a service ticket, say I'm a dispatcher, and I open up a service ticket and I request a phone, my warehouse gets that order, they pull the phone, ship it to site. How would you handle that with the barcode gun in that scenario, as far as like a serial number or something like that?
Oh, okay. So that's a good question. I haven't even thought about it. But what I would do is I would set up the barcode for the text in the field, and I would have them go to the customer site and verify that the parts were received at the customer site. So they would go into receive mode and use the barcode gun to receive those that purchase order that's delivered directly to the customer site, and that will allow you to verify all the parts received and everything was as you were expected. That's probably how I would do it. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, so I've got a bonus app to show you guys today. I think I gotta log in as the. Go on to a different browser a second. And I'll log in as the demo. I am okay. And this one is now in beta. Looking for customer feedback. So this is you can use this in conjunction with your SME dispatch. And a few advantages on this is this is web-based, so you can have multiple windows for this. And you can have SME open along with this side by side. So let's say you have multiple screens. You can have this on one screen for your dispatch for setting up other jobs. And for dispatching, or you can have multiple windows and stuff as well. So I can look at specific for text in the field, let's say for Mark, look at all the jobs for Mark. And this would show filter on just my jobs. So this is a good feature also for the text to log in and just see what they've got going on for the day. These are all my jobs that I've got going on. I can look at it from a monthly or a weekly or a daily standpoint. And I can also look at it from a timestamp. You notice this is more like a stacked view where it just shows without the specific time and stacked together and shows the hours at the top of what I'm working on. And I can also have a specific time view where it shows the time along the side as well. And I can look at different views there. The other good feature here is I can look at I can start scheduling using work groups or crews. Rather than scheduling specific technicians, this application will now let you schedule or look at for work group or crews. So Gary, you were asking earlier about install jobs. Maybe in some of those bigger install jobs, you've got a group of 4 people. Now you don't have to schedule all 4. You just add them to that work group. Let's say I'll call that inspector, and all those guys would be assigned to that job. Now I also can do scheduling for that work group. So if I go here to the inspector, these are some of my unscheduled jobs here. So I'll go ahead and schedule them for this Friday, and now that work group is scheduled as well. So a couple other filtering here we can do on classes and zones, and we also have the capability to show or hide availability. So you can use this for like tracking vacation time and things like that. Let's see if I've got some availability. I'm going to do I'll do only availability here and see what are all my vacation schedules. So I see that Bob Field guy is going to be out from 3:57 to 5:57, and Mark's out at 6 a.m. to 1 a.m. So this is all my vacation schedule from all my techs. So when you have this on the schedule as well as show availability, I'll be able to see those slots so that I can avoid not scheduling techs during that time. So we're looking for customers to try this out for their business, and remember you can use this in conjunction with your SME dispatching as well. So here's the unavailability down here I was talking about. So let us know if you want to give this a try. So I'll take a few more questions. Gary says we want it. He can be a beta tester. I think Gary recently moved to SME 8, so we can get him get him going on that. And I'll unmute everyone, and if anyone has any questions, go ahead and ask.
Mark, this is Gary.
Hi, Gary.
Is there a customer portal now, or do you use the same customer portal you had before?
Yeah, we use the same customer portal as before. We have not updated that yet. It's sort of on our roadmap to freshen that up with this latest technology we're using. Like we're using all the latest HTML5, JavaScript, blah blah blah. The older tech portal is on a little older technology, but it's still working, so you can still use that one. Good question. Okay, so let me just go back to the summary screen here. Let's get everyone
Hey, Mark.
going. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Hey, it's Brian. I had a question on the service orders. I noticed you were clicking the very top of them when it was white and yellow. Is that some kind of significance there? Is it saving it there, or what's it doing when you were doing that?
Yeah, that's a good question. I should go through that. So what that is doing is that's in the mobile solution. Whenever you start making a change here today, I don't know what this B is doing here. You notice that it goes white. That means there's a change pending. So this is good for the techs to know. So let's say if they think that they're going to go into some so this right now, that change is local here until I move to another tab or something. But I might want to force save here and move it back to yellow, mean it's ready to go. And then that would save it back to SME immediately. So let's say if I know I'm going to go in a tunnel, well, don't be doing this while driving. But let's say if I know I'm going to go offline or something like that, I'm on an airplane or something doing my work job, I can save it before I have to go into airplane mode or something like that. So that's a great question that I forgot to mention. So whenever it's white, go ahead and click it.
So yellow means saved. Yellow means saved, that it's synced with SME.
Correct. Yep. And white means.
And then if I have more than.
Go ahead.
If I had more than one person working on that order, does someone get overridden if they do it at the same time, or how is that going to work?
It's not likely. It's I guess it's possible, but it's not likely to happen. So it would only update the fields that they're changing, and whenever you're talking about items, those are separate anyways. So those are not gonna overwrite. So we don't ever really see any problem with anybody overwriting. The only time is if you had a pending change and somebody else is making a pending change on that same field. So it's not really likely.
One other quick question. I've got my cell phone I've been using, and I also bounced back over to my iPad, and I'm logged in. Does it recognize that I'm on two different ones? So in other words, if I was doing some work on one of them and then switch over to my iPad or online, does it know, as far as my clock in, clock out, does it know what I'm doing? If I'm on different ones?
No. Well, there's two answers to your question. One is that you can switch back and forth to any devices. Since this is per user per month charge, you can run on as many devices you want simultaneously, or there's no limit to how many windows you can have open or anything like that. The one caveat is the one that you mentioned, is that the time in, time out is locally stored for that device. So you would want to time out on the same device that you timed in on. And I think we were looking at, I don't know if we did something like that in beta, but so that's one area where, because time in is keeping track on the device itself too. Everything else you can, except for that one, everything else you can do, you could switch back and forth on the devices. Great question. I think I've seen another question on the chat is John, developer says that actually doesn't matter anymore. That was true a little while ago. I think now we save the time in so that I think you can switch to an iPhone now and then time out there. So sorry, I gave you the wrong information there. So you can switch devices, no problem. And that's how the world is, right? We've got multiple devices out there.
I thought I saw that.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, and then Mark, you got a question? Mark Azinga?
Yeah, I was just asking, when you put the time in and time out, that goes to actual hours, is that correct? Whereas the tab on the right, where you can enter billable or scheduled hours, is different?
Correct. Yeah, so that time in, time out is going to show up here on the timesheet of the tech. And if you go to the order itself, it's going to show inside the, under the task and inside the time tracking, the actual time in, out here. So the time in, time out goes along with this time tracking as the actual time. So what that allows you to do is you can schedule a tech for, let's say, 2 hours. But let's say you took 3 hours for that job. You'd be able to run reporting and see, you know, is the text taking more or less time than you actually scheduled, and then refine your scheduling over time. So in past SME, we combined schedule and actual together. It was causing them a little trouble. Not trouble, but customers had to kind of work around that. But now actual time is separated. Give you a lot more flexibility there. Did that answer your question?
Yes, it did, thanks.
Okay, so any other questions? All right, let's wrap up. So as I mentioned before, next steps, make sure you're on SME 8. Our support team will help you upgrade if you need to. Then we'll also install the web services or update the web services as needed. Then you'll get your mobile user set up on the SME Master. And then run your pilot or trial for any of the applications you want, and then let us know any issues or anything you find, or any specific needs you need for your business process, and then we'll get you going, and everyone can run a better service business. So thank you for your time. We're always available for other questions. You can email support at h5sw or high5software.com. Is probably the best way to get some answers for you. So thank you, everyone, for your time, and see you later.